Let's start talks.
Okay, nice.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Karina.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm excited.
You look very sunny like the outside.
What'd you say?
You look very sunny like the outside. Yeah. What are you vibe coding?
I have no idea. I have like a whole backlog list.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess given how easy it is to spawn apps into existence,
Exactly.
you could probably get through your whole backlog in one day.
Exactly.
Yeah, glorious time to be coding.
What'd you say?
Oh, it's just a glorious time to be coding.
Exactly. Are you live streaming?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd like to talk from Lovable.
It's what?
We have a talk from Lovable.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to give a quick intro.
Testing.
Have you seen other writers? I thought that they were all like. Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Vibe Coding Hackathon. Woo! It is a glorious Saturday afternoon to give into the vibes. I think that all of us have experienced the 10 to 100x speed up in coding time that comes from abandoning your desire to understand what's going on and allowing the AI to take over the show entirely. I, this morning, created a web simulator in 20 minutes using Cursor Compose, refusing to read any of the code, just telling it what I wanted, what to do, and plenty of you were able to create glorious physics simulations and explore a generative variant of the web. This concept of web sim is sort of fantastic and is now creatable in a moment. And whether that tool competes with Level both is an open question, but actually it's creatable in a moment. I have a sense that it's still unclear to us exactly what the implications of this newest jump in capability are, but it's clear that in the last 2 to 3 months, the LLMs, which we've been using for programming for years, have bumped up the quality to a point where we should probably change the paradigm in which we code. And so that is the deep justification for the Vibe Codeathon. Who am I? Well, my name is Jeremy. I created the AGI houses. So we have a house in Hillsborough, which started in 2022. This house just started in 2023. And you are sitting in the seats of some of the most sort of fantastic hackers that have come through. So for example, this is our first hackathon with Arvind Srinivas before he invented Perplexity, with Andre Karpathy, who was my roommate and with whom we co-created AGI House. And so my hope is that you, like the folk at this first hackathon, can invent projects that turn into deca-billion-dollar companies, or that in general have flair and vibes behind them. So on the Zoom call, we have Lovable's community lead. Her name is Talisha. She's available for you to ask questions about the future of programming and how to use Lovable. The Lovable CEO lived here about 2 months ago, but went back to Europe due to visa issues, and is, as far as I can tell, single-handedly sort of representing Europe's startup ecosystem with dramatic growth of all of the vibe coding apps that really give non-technical people the ability to create just like you or me. And so I'm going to turn it over to Talisha. Let me get her on audio and let her see you for a moment. But I just want to welcome you all to the Vibe Coding Hackathon and hear a warm round of applause for Lovable. I should test audio.
And over that for what?
Yes, we can hear you, but we can turn you up.
Okay.
So you're full screen, and I think everyone can hear you.
All right, awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Talisha White. I am the community lead at Lovable. And I definitely want to thank you all for being here. And I want to tell you more about Lovable and what you can do, especially now riding this vibe coding wave. I've seen a lot of people create some crazy things with Lovable just by giving it a prompt. And with our new Claude 3.7, you can do more with just one line of prompt than ever before. Just today, I'm at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, and just on my cell phone, I gave someone a simple prompt of creating a CRM, and it created like 7 pages in like 5 minutes for people. So it really opens up the doors for people who are non-technical, who don't even know the first thing about coding, to be able to create these web apps and these platforms that they've always dreamed about. And the great thing about Lovable is that it has a native integration with Supabase. So you can get your authentication, you can get your database, you can do edge functions, so you can call different APIs if you want to integrate OpenAI or you want to integrate Anthropic, etc. And you can do it all in natural language, which I think is really great. I've seen a lot of people in the community who have kind of come from diverse backgrounds. I've seen ex-football coach at a D1 school, now building his first tech startup and growing that. I've seen someone build a chicken app for people who have backyard chickens to count the number of eggs, because we all know eggs is very expensive nowadays. And he's already grown that to over, I think, 250 users, which he's never touched a line of code before, and he totally just vibed it all out while having an icon of different chickens, which I think is crazy. Yeah. So, any questions or?
Very cool. Yeah, I have a question. So I have this sense that because it's possible to create apps so quickly and easily, the new question is actually how to get growth. And is there any sort of story Lovable has about how to turn a vibe-coded project or a lovable project into a viral or incredibly profitable product?
Yes. So Definitely today with vibe coding and AI, the code is no longer your mode. Your technical capabilities are no longer your mode. You can copy any website in about 10 minutes. So the question is, how do you get that viral? How do you stand out in the crowd? And number one is community, right? So I go back to the chicken app. He started a community of people who are raising chickens in their backyard. And so he focused on the people and not the product. So that's the first thing. The second thing is social media, right? I know that sounds very cheesy, but I mean, there's a really great example. Unfortunately, it wasn't coded, it was Lovable. We're working on that. But if you know Peter Levels, he built that entire video game just on, vibe coding alone and have grown it to 58,000 in MRR. And that was through social media. So I think those are the best two ways to stand out, community and social media. Don't focus on the code or the technical capabilities or, all of the features. It's more of what it can do for the people that you're selling it to.
Any questions for Lovable? Going once, going twice.
I actually have a question. It's very similar what the previous question was. Right now we have an attention economy, and we know that it's much easier to create any website, any image, any video, everything is not being augmented or rather generated by now. I'm wondering how this is going to be in the future and how you see the attention economy shifting into trust economy, basically by only wanting to use the products that we are used to and we trust because we are just overstimulated by the new, interfaces that everyone can create basically just by telling an LLM to, hey, please create this dashboard for me. So what do you think is like this decision fatigue and the trust component in the user's decision which product to use in the future?
Yeah, definitely. So I think we're going to see a lot of people starting to make personal web apps. Like they're going to start making things particularly for themselves. And then it's going to come down to what tools that you personally feel like you need. I definitely agree that there is this trust that needs to be earned for not only the vibe coding tools, but also kind of your big tech tools out there. And what they're doing and how everyone wants to be AI now, etc. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be people making things for their individual use cases, and it might not even be for an entire audience. It could just be for, say, just the people in the room now.
Let's hear it for the future of programming personalization. Thank you, Talisha. Okay, so as a second treat, the CEO of WebSim, the web simulator, Rob Heisfield, has also jumped in. Rob, are you here? Your video on and okay, great. We do have Rob. So context, Rob. We are gathered here at the Vibe Codeathon. Everyone's bursting web apps into existence, and for those of you who don't know, WebSim is this sort of fantastic simulation of the web that in real time creates any website that you go to, and that as you click on links continues to generate whatever would likely be behind that link. And so Rob's going to give us a short talk. Let's hear it for Rob.
Hi y'all. So I would love to have been in person with y'all. You can probably hear from the sound of my voice, I'm a little sick. But I am super excited that y'all are doing a vibe coding hackathon. I think that's so cool. It's been really cool to see some language evolve around this practice, this thing that we've been doing for a while. I guess I'll just talk a little bit about WebSim, show you a few cool WebSims, and encourage you to try out your projects in WebSim today. I'm just going to show you a few projects real quick. This is a fairly simple one, but it showcases how simple we make some of these things. So this is less than 10 prompts in. but it lets you draw something and then it guesses what the drawing is. Yeah, and it even roasts me a little bit for making an imperfect drawing. And I'll just show you, like, here's how this person prompted for it. The user will draw something in a box with a color changer, eraser, and pen, then the AI will guess what the user is drawing. You know, and then I think from there, it pretty much probably worked almost immediately. And then the rest of it was, you can see like the prompts, it was just pretty much like making the UI better. But you'll see here along the bottom of the prompt area, you can toggle on certain things. So like you can toggle on AI models, and you actually don't even need to like toggle a checkbox. You can just say, you can just say like, let's make me an AI program that lets me upload a picture of myself, then it roasts me, use my camera. And I'm just gonna let that run for a minute. This is another really cool project. AI ranks everything, ranks anything. So let's just say JavaScript. What does it think that could be?
8.
Rank that at 8 here, and you can give some commentary on it. You can see here that there were 23 revisions on the way, and yeah, and you can just keep on adding to it. So like types,
Yeah.
it thinks that's good JavaScript. Oh. It makes a sound effect. I don't know if you heard that on your end, but it makes a sound effect. So let's just take this photo.
It just made this, right?
Yeah.
That's nice.
And it's gonna roast me. It's analyzing my face for roastable features. And when you prompt to use AI like this, it'll use Gemini Flash behind the scenes for it. Seems like it's taking a minute, so I'm just going to show other things in the interest of time. Another common thing that we see in WebSim is multiplayer use. So you might have noticed that one of those checkboxes you can do is multiplayer. If you use the words multiplayer or database in your prompt, it'll just automatically check that. But it makes it really easy to make real-time multiplayer things, right? So we really try to make things batteries included. And this one actually combines multiplayer and language models. So I'm just gonna say, make me Batman. It made me Batman. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's terrible.
And so this is almost like Club Penguin-esque, right? So I mean, like, you really have so many options. I'll also point out that, like, especially since this is one of my projects, especially since the new Sonnet came out, Sonnet 3.7, it's really capable. It'll just spit out tokens like it's nothing, you know. So like here you'll see, like, I actually gave it a pretty long prompt. This is the common technique you'll see in vibe coding where people like workshop a prompt in a specification with like ChatGPT or with Claude, and then they'll just put that whole prompt in there, right? And it gave me something that was mostly functional right off the bat, but I can just make a chart. So I'm just gonna say, you know what, this is Jeremy Nixon. He's pretty jacked, so I'm gonna make it 90. And then intelligence, sure, 90. Let's put it there. Dexterity, so many big muscles. I don't think his dexterity is very high. So let's just go ahead and save the chart. Yeah, Jeremy Nixon. And this is another pretty common trend that we've been seeing on WebSim, which is like, this blank does not exist, right? So this Yu-Gi-Oh card does not exist. Let's say green-eyed white tiger monster card. and it's going to make that for me because it can also, with the same AI images, same AI ability, it can generate images as well. You also don't need to use that. It can go pretty advanced, right? You can make 3D things. Really, it's just it's incredible to see. You can also upload your own assets. You can upload images or sound effects. You can search through our asset browser to find images and sound effects to add to your creations. And then once you're done, you can post it. And then it'll show up for everybody. You can start getting comments on it, getting feedback. Might start iterating with your user base. So yeah, that's WebSim. Let me just show one more thing that's one of my favorites. This is Doge Decimator. These are real government agencies and real percentages of the federal budget.
No, not
and
NASA.
it shows you how much of the budget you cut to try to complete a daily task, find affordable housing. Oh no, I can't because I cut the National Capital Planning Commission. Was it worth it? I don't know. I'm just gonna end the game here. Or actually, I'm gonna play one more round. You'll see that I'm starting to get news alerts along the bottom that are the consequences of my actions.
Oh, that's so cool.
And at the end of it, Liver said, I can't complete that task either. I'm going to end the game. And it gives me this scorecard. And I can download the results as an image, and that's going to be shareable. So I'll just show you real quick a little bit about how this user did it. Let's see. Doge Decimator. I'm just going to go here. And you can see that what this user actually did was they went to the federal, went to a government website and found a spreadsheet that was basically all the government agencies and the percentage. He copy-pasted that into Claude and had it generate JSON that included all these tasks that are associated with each agency, all the consequences that are associated with each agency, and then he uploaded that to WebSim as an asset, like when you click that plus button. And he gave it the schema, prompted to tell it what the schema was, and then made the game from there and continued from there. So just another cool little tactic. And then when you press this open full page button, it'll give you something that has like a full screen view that's shareable, and it has a nicer URL. And you can publish it to your socials, all of that.
Fantastic. Congrats.
Yeah.
So we have to jump to a sponsor talk, but obviously WebSim is featureful and incredible. I think uniquely centers machine learning algorithms like the ability to roast a person using image to text or having LLM calls in loop. And so fantastic opportunity for us all. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah. Let me just throw out if anyone uses WebSim and makes something really cool, then I'll gift you a free plan. You'll just be able to use it as much as you want.
Okay, so infinite WebSim credits on offer. Let's hear it. Okay, up next is our primary sponsor and the inventor of multi-on Div. Div, are you here? Fantastic. Bring it up to. And Div is responsible both for the food that is about to arrive, but also has created a new company whose t-shirts many of you are wearing. Div, take it away.
Hello. Okay, cool. Can everyone hear me? Cool. Okay, excited to be here. We just formed this new company called Asia Inc. We're less than 2 months old. Previously, I was running this company called Multivan, where we built the first web agent that can go and like do things in your browser. And now we're kind of branching out more towards like how does trust look like? It's like how do you have trustworthy products that you actually want to use? How can you actually do a lot of transactions online, right? And then how can you have like more of a personalized experience with agents? So we're building a lot of vertical applications that can enable you to start using agents in your more everyday life. And right now, I think people don't trust agents. They're very finicky. They're very slow. If you've tried Operator, you have to pay $200 to get behind the paywall. And it's still like, I think I've heard some comments like people make like, it's like you can hire a VA that's cheaper and like much more efficient. So it's not practical yet. And we're kind of looking into a lot of like, how do you unlock a lot of socioeconomic value with agents and like where the technology is going. Cool. And so we're very excited. So it's our new website. It's very minimal, but you can check it out. We have an early beta we're running that you can participate in. So you can find me on our team here and get access. And you can kind of see like a lot of like fun, cool things that you can do. Cool. So let me go to the talk. I'll just run through a bunch of things that we're doing, and also maybe just touch on like where the industry is going. Maybe like a lot of people are now thinking about like AGI. I think that's starting to become an everyday conversation in SF. And I think we're also very excited about like what will that look like. This is kind of like a simple diagram showing how agent architectures work. This is from Lilian Wang from OpenAI, which shows like agents have a lot of different components like memory, which can be short-term, long-term, like you're planning. You might have tools that you can use for the agent to be able to like go and like do tasks in the environment, which could be like calculator, search, code, so on. And finally, the ability to take actions. And all of that combined together, and if we have like really good reasoning capabilities, I think like that kind of starts to approach like a human level cognitive system that can go and like take actions for you, and maybe like become something that you can say is close to AGI or like even more hyper intelligent. Okay, cool. So before going into talking about like what we are doing as a company, I'll show like a research preview. This is one work we did before, which shows like what sort of agents we're building and like what they can do. Cool. Here. So this is kind of like the technology we've been building, where you have agents that can self-improve, that can like improve themselves using reinforcement learning, Monte Carlo tree search, a lot of like this kind of really cool things. And now what we're looking to do is like, okay, like how can you actually unlock these agents to become a part of your everyday workflows? And that requires a lot of things, like how do you trust them, how do you authorize them to connect to your payments, how do you connect them to your logins? What does the human interaction look like? And that's kind of like the challenges we're very excited about, and that you can like, I think that you can come and like see like what we're building afterwards. There's also a bunch of like efforts we have been doing around like agent evaluation, agent protocols. I'll touch upon like one thing we're doing, which we are calling as real evals. So the idea is right now, if you look at agents, it's very hard to measure performance because there's no really good leaderboards. Like it's very hard to know is this agent actually work or not. And so that's why we built this new benchmark, which we're calling real evals. So this stands for Realistic Evaluations for Agents leaderboard. It's a new leaderboard where we are like mimicking the top 20 websites on the internet, and then we are building actual replicas. And then you can go and evaluate agents on these replicas of different websites for like Amazon, Airbnb, so on. You can actually find it at reallevels.xyz, and we have a leaderboard. If you saw, like, I think Karpati was tweeting like last week, it's like it's starting to get very hard to measure the performance of LLMs because everything is just web-based, everything is kind of saturated. If you look at LLMs or Chatter, everything has like kind of like everything's peaked already. And I think measuring like performance on agentic tasks, I think is the next leaderboard, which I think will like let the community know what is actually working or not. We also found some controversial things. So how many of you here know browser use? Okay. So there was this funny thing. So we actually tried benchmarking browser use, and they actually claimed that they do better than Operator on Web Voyager. And I think we tried to reproduce it, and we actually got I think they claimed like 90% accuracy, but we only were able to reproduce 70%, and that was kind of interesting. So we also feel like having like leaderboards like this is actually helpful in like knowing, okay, like is things reproducible, and having a single score to be able to measure all the agentic performances, and being able to like, especially like if I am a company and I want to use an agent, it's like which agent should I use, and this can help like build a lot of actual trust and decisions. Cool. Okay, I'll cut my talk short here. Yeah, and you can reach out to me afterwards. We just closed a new funding round for the HI Inc. with exciting people. We're hiring right now. So if you're excited to work on the future of agents and new experiences, reach out to me. And then you can also find, I'm happy to show some of the things we're building. So you can come and find me and our team members and get access. Thank you.
Any questions about the future of agentic browser?
Yeah, I think the or cloned websites is really interesting. I assume that you do like fake payments or something like that. But my question is, how do you measure? Like, is the benchmark within the cloned website code, or is it just based on checking whether they got the expected result? Like, how does the benchmark determine the success rate of an agent on one of these websites?
I can show you. Let's see. Yeah, so this is our leaderboard, and you can actually go and browse the different websites. So suppose you go to our Amazon clone, Omnizon, and you kind of see what's happening, you click around, find like things, add to cart, buy now.
Huh.
So it's pretty much a regular replica. We don't have payments yet, but like we can like see, okay, did you complete the task or not?
Wow.
And so it's very extensible. We're going to open source an SDK, so we're also taking contributions from the community on how can we improve this. And we have a leaderboard, so we're working with a lot of labs on how can we evaluate their models, their agents on this.
So you have defined tasks, like
yes.
buy a watch.
Yeah, so you can basically, each website you can have like maybe like hundreds of different tasks. Like your task is to go and buy this like a MacBook M4 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And we can check if you did that, if you were able to do it correctly or not.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Very cool.
Yep. So yeah, if you're interested, you should participate in this. Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the point of the hackathon where the mic is turned over to you. And so we're going to open with a public sort of soft non-commitment. So basically it's a option for others who are interested in what you might be up to at the hackathon, might be curious about what you're doing or working with you, to sort of take a look at what you're planning on working on and potentially, approach you maybe over lunch, maybe befriend you, so that you guys can vibe together. And so concretely, there's a prospective projects page for the Vibe Coding Hackathon. And we're all going to take the next 3 minutes to add whatever we're thinking about vibing on today to this spreadsheet. So you can see Chris and Nelda have already added just their name and project description, so it's super simple. It shouldn't take you more than 3 minutes to fill out. But I'm gonna resend the link to this spreadsheet over Partiful, over email, and over Slack. And you should all be silent from 12:23 to 12:26 as we populate the spreadsheet with all of our prospective projects. And that way, when it comes to lightning talks and when it comes to lunch, you can see what everyone's gonna be up to, and if you wanna jump on board, you can. So I'm gonna set a timer. The set of requests, there are 2 requests. One is that you maintain silence for the 3 minutes. 2 is that everyone in the room add their prospective project to the spreadsheet. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, you have a minute and a half left to finish adding your project to the spreadsheet. One minute left. 1 minute left. Raise your hand if you still need to finish. Or is everyone done? Okay, there's still people who need to finish. Please do finish.
Where did you put it in Slack?
It's both in Slack and Partiful. In Slack, it's in the channel #Vibe.
Oh.
And in Partiful, it's text blasted. Time. Cool. Does anyone need more time, or is everyone good to go? Okay, great. So because we have 17, I'm sure there are some of you who failed to make it, but we will do what we can with what we got. So actually, moving on to lightning talks. So this is a chance if you'd like to give a quick pitch for your project. And it's distinct from the respective projects. You don't have to give a talk, but if you'd like to, form a line, just coming from me out. They'll be really quick, basically like 1 minute each. And I will give you a demo of what a lightning pitch is like. So if you're interested in giving a talk, do step up and you will follow me. Okay, so I am interested in basically vibe coding product as a target of vibe coding. So, can you build Lovable in a vibe coding sesh? Can you create V0? How much secret sauce is really in these tools? And in the ability to customize it, I'm interested in payments after authentication. So the idea is really company generation. If you create a promptable product, so you can, with a few prompts, put something together that's valuable to people financially, then you can have your users create a company by having their sequence of prompts lead to a unique web URL. No one needs to know that it came out of your website generator. And it offers a service that basically has some free tier that allows them to pay for some additional capability. And that would be the first company generator. So if you'd like to vibe code a company creator into existence with me, let me know. And yeah, do applause for everyone. Okay, up next, do introduce yourself. Yes.
Cool. Hi, I'm Leah. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. So, I am very interested in ways we can make generative AI art with more human control. I think there's a lot of ways that people have tried to do it with diffusion models, but I think there's a lot of other ways to do it. This is one example. This is based on some code written out of MIT in 2020 and then taken from DeepMind and made better in 2021. Basically, there's like all these patches, and then using Clip, we're able to move them around and make whatever we want, in this case, a chicken. But because we're actually moving the patches around, we're not just like generating pixels. We can do a lot of things. We can control like what's actually able to move. We can stop it halfway and have humans add things. We can like draw the bottom and ask it to finish the top. Lots of things that like, you can do that with diffusion, but like it's more like direct with something like this. And you can do it with vectors as well, which is really cool. So I have this working via an API right now and want to build an interface for it today.
Before you move on, what's your name?
Leah.
Okay, Leah? You're in front.
No.
Okay, so actually, do send a message with your name.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the park or you
Hi, I'm Luca. This is Joe. We have some other housemates coming, and we're going to be building a house automation system for our house. We're trying to do like misaligned AI agents that can control our lights and things at our new group house. Let me see if I can plug this in.
Like a ghost in the house.
Oh yeah, inhabitants.
Yeah, exactly. This is our website. We're a new group house in Nob Hill. And we're just all design engineers. So we're gonna bring more of our housemates today and be working on just getting our house hooked up to the mainframe. I think that's everything, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul. I lived with Jeremy for like a while in a different AJ house in Hillsborough, Nelda High. Basically, I'm launching an app soon in the App Store, and I need a bunch of content on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. It's kind of a pain in the ass to create content, even though you can copy somebody else's video and then like, these days you watch like somebody else's video and then you put a caption on it and then like, you don't create content, you just like copy it, but even copying that is kind of hard, and then you need to like find it, you need to like tag it, you need to like sort of post it. well, you need to vibe code your own app. So it's kind of, I want to just build this thing that kind of helps you to manage all this, daily, post as much as possible, and then within the limits of the systems, of the platforms. And I think it's a useful thing, maybe, open source it, So that's it. That's a pretty simple job for today. Thank you.
Hello. How's it going, everyone? My name's Noah, and today I'm going to be vibing a Zoom deepfake into existence. So I live in a hacker house right now, and our internet is in the process of being upgraded, and it often cuts out. There was a roommate that was on a call with the VC, and they said they were cutting out during the call. So the thing I'm going to make today is, if your internet connection drops during a Zoom call, we are going to swap in a deepfake into your place. The MVP is, it's literally just going to say, until your internet comes back on. So if you want to build that, I'm over here, let me know.
Hi, I'm Gretchen, and this is Jorge, and he'll give you the lightning talk.
So we call our project Vibe Check, keeping the prompt simple, which is writing secure code with AI. So like Gretchen mentioned, she's Gretchen, I'm Jorge. A pretty simple idea. I've never played with either Bolt or Cursor. So this would be a first, and I think the goals are pretty clear. I mean, generally speaking, AI coding is taking over, but like everything, are we writing code that is objectively secure? So null hypothesis is it's just as good as anybody else's code. It has security holes, but stuff that you would find. So let's see where we get with that. We were going to look at the security implications, and we're going to see if we can identify vulnerabilities. Two-pronged approach. We're going to basically say, okay, can we prompt these systems to write secure code from the get-go? And if not, if we have insecure code for whatever reason, can we fix it with these tools, and can we make that easier?
That was it. Thank you.
Yeah, so vibe is privacy, I think. Like people can own their own data. So you see, I'm gonna ask AI like, yo, I want privacy app, and see where we can go. So there's this pretty cool library just launched called Peerbit, which I'm just gonna tell like AI, yo, I want privacy. It would be cool if it was built on Peerbit, and then we can take it from there. So Peerbit is a pretty new project they just launched. It's like kind of like if BitTorrent would work with databases, so you can actually like build as big as like BitTorrent scales, like actual web scale for databases. So you can run like Facebook completely device to device. So you're just gonna build something on that. It might be like a podcast player where you own your own data. You can send like clips of podcasts or full podcasts to friends. It might be like Signal. So Signal, you can like talk with each other, you can call each other. Maybe we can have an AI agent be part of the like chat or call experience. So like what's it called? Like bringing social AI into like personal direct communications or group chats. But yeah, vibe is privacy. So if you're vibing, just hit me up.
Hey guys, for this vibe coding, I'm just going to try to pretend to be pissed off cake shop why my quotes are not going to the potential customers. So basically analyze how our conversation went, whether we were coding the right price, so all these like synthetic data, and just try out all the AI tools. So yeah, Cursor and Replit, so just build it from the scratch. So that's what I'm thinking. That's it.
Anyways, I'm just gonna say I'm Shardul. I'm building an AI analyst agent for e-commerce. So we do like e-commerce recommendations, and I have a lot of e-commerce data for different events. And what I want to do is build tools that can understand data, browser use that can go to the website and give actual recommendations. So I already have one MVP that was entirely vibe coded, and I want to create a standalone agent using vibe coding that will give some useful insights.
Hello. We we recently built the first ever like multi-agent API. So if you want to integrate like multiple agents into your application, you could do so with the Swarms API, and it's kind of easy. So all you have to do is like you build a configuration for your Swarm, and you give it a name, and then you build your agents. You can give each agent a name, system prompt, model name. You could also give them tools. And yeah, then you choose essentially like how do they communicate with each other. There's many ways of enabling them to communicate. You can run them concurrently, sequentially, hierarchically. And there's a couple of other ways. And you can also integrate any agent from any framework or any application. If they have an API or MCP server. So yeah, let me know if you want to integrate multiple agents into your app, and yeah.
All right, let's kick things off. Looking forward to seeing what you'll build, obviously. But I guess James actually commented in the Slack, he said, what is vibe coding? Still don't know what that is. People are throwing this term around, but what are they even talking about? And so I want to just make it really concrete. Here's the Carpathy tweet that sort of launched the viral moment that created vibe coding. He says this, there's a new kind of coding I call vibe coding, where you fully give into the vibes. Embrace exponentials. What does that even mean? And forget that the code even exists. I think the exponential here is like, it's 100x speed up if you are willing to totally let the AI do all the work, but something like it. It's possible because the LLMs, e.g. Cursor Composer with Sonnet, are getting too good. I think the sense of too good is just like, I'm a software engineer and I want to continue to experience code naturally. Can't do it. Also, I just talked to Composer with Super Whisper, so I barely even touch the keyboard. So if you don't know, Super Whisper is this open speech-to-text system. You can use it yourself. They have a really nice free program, so do check it out. I asked the dumbest things, like decrease the padding on the sidebar by half. So I actually think this is a great example of how knowing what padding is actually an essential part of vibe coding. So a lot of vibe coding is actually using your design knowledge, your HTML knowledge, your CSS knowledge. But yeah, decrease the padding by half because I'm too lazy to find it. And this laziness is actually a fantastic property of software engineers. By our laziness, we end up being far more productive than we would be if we were tracking down every last CSS element. And you should probably optimize your projects so that you can have your AI do the CSS for you via English, or really via photo, like just snap a photo of what you're looking at and what you want it to look like. But I don't really read the diffs anymore. I accept all, always. So this is huge. In my opinion, you basically take yourself out of the coding loop entirely, and you let, in this case, Cursor Compose's accept all function change as many files as need be in order to code. When I get error messages, I just copy paste them in with no comment. Usually that fixes it. So we all had this magic experience of not giving any context. And it's this kind of speed up that I think is a big deal, because if you're thinking about everything and you're giving it tons of context, you are taking time to form your own mental model of things that the AI might be able to just take care of. And I think one essential thing is you don't know that the models have improved so much that so much of the context you're giving them is no longer necessary. The code grows beyond my usual comprehension. This feels very powerful to me. So actually not knowing what's in your code base, being able to operate on a code base that's far larger than you usually would be able to experience. And I think I'd love for people to get to this point and talk about what it was like today to work with a code base that they couldn't possibly read the code of in a single day, because the LLMs are just generating feature after feature after feature after feature, and in order for them to have read it, they would have had to spend a week. Grows beyond my comprehension. I'd really have to read through it for a while. Sometimes the LLM can't fix a bug, so I just work around it or ask for random changes until it goes away. So this frame for debugging, which is that you require that the model fix the bug, you don't have an option of going into the code yourself, can speed projects up dramatically. And I think that the LLMs, if appropriately prompted, can fix most bugs. So lots of potential. It's not too bad for throwaway weekend projects. Happy Saturday. But still quite amusing. I'm building a project or web app, but it's not really coding. I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, and copy paste stuff. And it mostly works. I love the casualness, stuff, the vibe, the randomness, usually until it goes away. It's all very flowy. And so the intent for the day is to spend the next 7 hours, so 1 to 8 p.m., in a state of flow, in a vibe state. So vibe code your app into existence. I think I was talking to someone who has a Rolodex of apps. They're going to kill all of them. And it feels like the technology makes that possible. So build everything that you've dreamed of. I think it's possible to do things that were previously beyond imagination. But this is vibe coding as initially sort of described by Andre. And I think, especially in Cursor Compose, it's a real experience. You don't end up with code fixes, you end up with a sequence of prompts, and you can go back and see all your prompts, and you know that you're vibe coding when it's just pure English. Okay, so with that all said, sorry, Paul, what's up?
How do you work in teams in web code?
I
didn't do that, but
yeah.
It feels like it's multi-cross different files, and then everyone's changing files. And
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, no, actually, I was thinking about this yesterday. It's really not clear to me that it's possible. And I think you can commit to GitHub, but you want to be as uncommitted about the commit as possible. I do think there's a lot to learn from people. So basically, they'll have their entire vibe coding style, and we'll often do in one prompt what you thought was impossible or blow your mind.
You could do microservices.
How does that work?
Well, if you have two entirely separate repos that just make API calls to each
Cool. Yeah, split the project up into parts that are cleanly decomposable is one answer. But I do think that total code base awareness is actually a pretty big part of why vibe coding is functional. And so I would try to cooperate in the normal way, have a shared GitHub repo, push to GitHub after each commit and after each big change, and split the project up to the degree that it's complicated. I think in the case of your project in particular, there's a lot of complicated parts that can be segmented off. So someone could do all of the connections to social media apps, and the other person does the rest of the app, the UI, the back end, because actually connecting to all of the apps is the hard part. And so that's how I would decompose your project, but I'm sure that everyone has their own question and opportunity. Cool. Any other questions? Anyone curious? Good. Okay, so it is 12:47 p.m. We have 7 hours of vibe coding in front of us, which should be sick. You are currently on the third floor of a 4-story mansion. There are glorious, like, vibe-oriented views. It's a Saturday afternoon, so get stoked to build some stuff with some cool kids. I can't wait personally to burst my apps into existence. If you can smell it, I know which of you are already eating it. There's food served in the back, so do avail yourselves of lunch. Physical logistics, so there's a bathroom in this left-hand corner, and there's another bathroom on the bottom floor. Please do not go upstairs. Those are private bedrooms that we'd like to keep off limits, and we'll probably mod the stairs so that it's obvious to everyone. And yeah, do embrace the spirit of vibing, embrace the exponentials. It should be a wonderful afternoon to code with you all, so let's hear it for the kickoff of the first ever Vibe-a-thon. Woo! Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, Bolt is giving $1,000 sponsorship to the best use of Bolt. So if you have a presentation this evening that involves Bolt, and it's judged to be superior to the other Bolt applications, you will get a cash prize of $1,000. Thank you, Bolt.
Who's judging that?
It will probably be the crowd.
So you just have to convince me.